this exercise is for food manners, where we don't really want the dog to pester us while we're eating. We want them to settle nicely beside us, or ideally ignore us completely. So to start off with, I'm going to have Dottie settle just in front of me, because a lot of dogs like to be near you anyway, but I don't want her pestering me. So at the moment I'm starting with just a plate with a couple of small plain biscuits. Now the other thing I'm going to use to start off are just a couple of treats for her. So I want to get her in position and I want to treat her on the floor. Now the first one will come from me, the rest will come from heaven, hopefully, as you'll see. So we get her into a position, a relaxed position, into a down, good girl, and treat it on the floor there. Any others now will come when she's not looking at me, and they will just appear in between her feet. Now the reason for that being is I don't want her to be watching me and her thinking that I'm feeding her what I'm eating. It's not that I mind giving her tidbits from my plate, but I'd rather she had them in her own bowl, rather than pestering me as she is doing now. Dogs have got the most ridiculously cute eyes, and this is why we end up giving them tasty treats. The worst people for doing this tend to be the visitors who say, I don't mind. Parents are the worst. I've done it with all of my dogs. It never made a problem. It was never a problem. It doesn't matter. If these are the rules that you want for your dog, then you're the one that's got to be consistent, because the first time that your dog goes and steals Great Aunt Mabel's chocolate eclair from her plate, she's going to say to you, you should have this dog trained. So we're going to set the rules as we want them to be. At the moment, this little squirt is completely focused on me because she knows I did give her a treat. So I'm going to start, I'll just break off having a little piece of biscuit to start off with. And I shall reward her sort of from heaven, if you like, when she lies down, when she's not looking at me. If she looks at the floor, then a treat will appear in between her feet to keep her in that position. There we go, little piece of biscuit. Now, the idea of just having something plain, excuse me, is just that if I'm sitting at the chair here, if she goes to jump up, then all I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the plate up, stand straight up, she pops her feet back on the floor, I sit down again and carry on. This is more important if you have a larger breed. So anything from Cocker Spaniel, Springer Spaniel and above, where they stand up and instantly their nose is level with your plate. So not a pleasant thing to have dog slobber all over your biscuits, unless you're particularly fond of dog slobber. So you can repeat that standing up, sitting down, as often as you want. The more times you do that, the more times your dog is going to think, well, this is just boring, I'm getting no attention whatsoever, nobody's talking to me. Even saying the word no or off is still giving them attention. And if, as we know, if we keep giving them attention, any attention is better than nothing. So we keep standing up and sitting down, standing up, sitting down. You may find you need to do it 40 times before the dog gets the idea. That's fine, that's very good for toning the back of the legs. So it doesn't matter. While I'm munching away, I don't mind that she's looking at me, because I'm not going to look at her. I'm not going to give her any rewards for that. Eventually she will look away, or she'll go into a bed, or she'll sit up and have a little whinge, which is what the puppies do. However, once I've finished, once I've put my plate away, if I want to reward her, then I'll call her into the kitchen and I'll give her a treat from the side, from the unit or something, so she sees that, right, the rewards come from the kitchen, not from sitting next to somebody. So it's a great exercise to practice with every member of the family. If you've got children tend to eat while sitting on the floor, then to start off with, see if you can get them, if they're very young children, eating at a little low bench, so that they're still low down, but they can still do the standing up. Children love helping with the puppy training. And then you can build it down so that if you're sitting on the floor, hopefully, she says, if I go on the floor here, there we go, going on the floor. Dottie's now interested in my plate. Dottie, down. Down. Good girl, and stay. So her nose now is level with my plate, and I've got, I say, just biscuits here. You should then be able to move around, eat if you want. She can move around. I don't mind if she moves around now and ignores my food. That's exactly fine. But if she does come back, I don't then want her to pester my food. Okay, so good one to practice, nice and relaxing. A boring snack to start off with. Don't start with your roast dinner because that's far too tempting for the dog, as it is for me. Okay, so nice one to have a practice as often as you want to with them.